Welcome to Quick History Facts, where we explore the fascinating people and events that have shaped our world. In today's episode, we explore the tragic tale of Lady Jane Grey, why Mary I changed her mind on executing her, and her final tragic moments of life. The year is 1553, and England finds itself embroiled in a tumultuous period. King Edward VI, the young and ailing ruler, faces the challenge of securing a Protestant succession amidst political and religious tensions. King Edward VI, on his deathbed, fears that his half-sister, Mary, a staunch Catholic, will reverse his Protestant reforms. In an effort to secure the Protestant cause, he bypasses his two Catholic half-sisters and instead designates his Protestant cousin, Lady Jane Grey, as his successor. Lady Jane Grey, a 16-year-old girl with a passion for learning, is shocked and overwhelmed by the news of her unexpected ascent to the throne. Unprepared for the political machinations that surround her, she hesitantly accepts the crown, becoming the first and only Queen of England with a disputed claim. Lady Jane Grey's reign is a mere 9 days, during which she attempts to assert her authority and enact religious reforms. However, Mary, with her strong Catholic support, quickly gathers an army and rallies against Jane's claim to the throne. With overwhelming odds stacked against her and in a dramatic turn of events, Mary I had overthrown her cousin. Lady Jane Grey's reign is cut short when she is forced to relinquish the crown to Mary. She was in the Tower of London at the time, preparing for her coronation, but now that Mary had overthrown her, she had to remain there as a prisoner. She was completely abandoned by everyone who had been trying to make her queen, including her own mother. Lady Jane and her husband, Guildford Dudley, were tried for high treason in November of 1553. Mary I granted them a reprieve. She allowed them to stay as high-status guests within the Tower of London, rather than being thrown into the dungeons. At this point, Jane's father-in-law had already been executed for high treason. Mary had some doubts about whether she should execute Lady Jane and her husband, as they were both teenagers at the time. They were put on trial and found guilty of high treason. Even though they were sentenced to death, Mary knew they had been manipulated into this position. Mary's conscience wouldn't permit her to execute her young cousin. However, this changed in 1554, when a series of events made the new Catholic queen unpopular with her subjects. A series of uprisings followed, and Lady Jane's own father was involved in them. This meant that her very own existence was a threat to Mary. Mary had actually offered to spare the lives of Lady Jane and her husband if they converted to Catholicism, but Lady Jane was deeply religious and rejected this offer, as did her husband. So, it was with reluctance that Queen Mary accepted the guilty sentence. On the 12th of February in 1554, Lady Jane was executed. Her final moments were calm and composed. She was dressed in black and walked to the scaffold very calmly. She delivered a poignant speech. Among her final words were these: "Good people, I am come hither to die, and by a law I am condemned to the same." The fact indeed against the Queen's Highness was unlawful and consenting thereunto by me. I do wash my hands thereof in innocency, before the face of God, and the face of you good Christian people this day. She then recited Psalm 51, and then gave her gloves and her handkerchief to one of her gentlewomen. The executioner then stepped forward to help untie her gown, but she stopped him and asked her ladies to help her. After removing her gown, the executioner then knelt before her and asked for Lady Jane's forgiveness, which she willingly gave. Her ladies, at this point, were weeping and could no longer be of help. Lady Jane was directed to kneel in front of the block. She turned to her executioner and said, "I pray you dispatch me quickly." Her ladies were far too distressed to help her. She had to tie her blindfold on, by herself. At this point, she began to feel for the block, and she started to panic because she couldn't find where to kneel. She cried out, "What shall I do? Where is it?" Everyone was so frozen at this pitiful sight that nobody helped her. Someone did mercifully step forward and helped her kneel down. She then laid her head on the block, with arms outstretched, and her final words were this: "Lord, into thy hands I commend my spirit." And with one strike of the axe, she was dead. Lady Jane Grey's brief reign and subsequent execution represent a pivotal moment in English history. Her story serves as a cautionary tale, highlighting the perilous nature of political ambition and the heavy toll it can take on the lives of those caught in its grip. Join us next time as we continue to explore the fascinating stories that have shaped our world. Until then, remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on our coming videos. Thank you for watching.